As the boats sit ready at the starting line, again, from right to left here, we have St. Joe's in lane 2, Drexel in lane 3, Temple in lane 4, and MIT in lane 5. And we're going to sit ready. And they are off in the men's 3v8 final. Clean start from all 4 crews. Not much between them here at the start. Drexel at a really high rate.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, these are all crews that have pretty good depth in terms of athletes. So, you know, this will be a good test to see. You know, I think that we'll see some tight racing here.
Yeah, so Drexel out to a pretty good start at the moment. Looks like Temple's going with them as those 2 crews look to leave St. Joe's and MIT behind here in the first 500. Temple at a pretty high stroke rate still. Drexel starting to settle down into that base rate just now. And again, something we've seen throughout the day, Drexel and Temple, 2 crews who are intimately, you know, knowledgeable about each other, having raced on the Schuylkill and practiced on the Schuylkill throughout their careers together. So they know each other. They've raced against each other. They likely see each other, you know, while they're practicing. So, you know, 2 boats that know each other. Again, these Temple and Drexel crews, a bit of a rivalry there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have, with the exception of MIT, we have sort of a Philly final here.
Yeah, most certainly. Drexel looking really strong right now. They've definitely settled down to a lower rate than the Temple crew, as Temple has also now started to settle into their base rate.
Yeah, and you know, this is where the races start to get interesting. I really like, I'm looking around and I'm seeing all of the crews really striking nicely, really getting their oars in the water, not a lot of missing the stroke. That means when you're getting that oar, it's coming down as you are reaching full compression instead of getting into the water as you start to push towards the bow.
And you can see it now on this camera. The rain's coming down a pretty good bit at the moment, so some heavier rain. I imagine it's not too heavy out there as you see them coming past this vantage point. Really not much between these 2 boats.
Yeah, and you know, as we spoke about earlier, when it wasn't raining as much, what do the rainy conditions do? How does that impact the athletes? What does it do to either them mentally or physically? You know, in conditions like these where it's a little bit warm, it's actually kind of nice to be out, have a little bit of rain coming down. But you know, it can affect your grip on the handle. It can, you know, have some technical impact if the rain is heavy and it starts to collect in your boat.
1,000 meters left to go now for our leaders from Drexel, who look like they might have just a slight advantage over the Temple Owls right next to them, both in matching Empacher shells coming down the race course. And we're going to get blocked by this tree really quickly. Again, the rain, likely the culprit here for us not being able to have any drone coverage of these races. You know, we're going to see some showers throughout the day. Hopefully they break soon and we can get the drone back up into the air.
And there we have a goose moving out of the way for Drexel.
And it looks like Drexel has continued to press open this lead a little bit. It's, you know, difficult again to tell from this angle, but you can tell a little bit by the buoys. Drexel clearing the buoys before Temple gets to them, so it looks like Drexel now up about a length on Temple. Still some time for Temple to respond as St. Joe's sits in a distant 3rd.
Yeah, and right now, you know, it'll be if Temple decides to make a move, how will it impact Drexel? Can they pull through, or can they halt that move that Drexel is making? I really like the way that both crews are rowing. They're doing a great job of getting their oars in the water. They're doing a great job of staying long. It just looks like Drexel's able to get a little bit more out of each stroke.
Yeah, so as they come into the final 500 here, a preview of what's to come in this 3V event later in the day. We will see more 8s from St. Joe's, Drexel, MIT, and Temple in some of the larger grand finals, men's and women's events. And we come in here to the final stretch now. Temple trying to do everything they can. St. Joe's also looks like they might have pushed back up just a little bit into it, but they're still off in a distant third. Temple making a push here. You see there the rate goes up for Temple. Drexel also going up as well to start their sprint, and Drexel reaches the red buoys first to hit the final 250 meters. Can Temple do anything to reel them back in?
Temple looks like they're making a bold move here. They look like they're a little bit higher than Drexel, but once again, this vantage point from the camera may not tell the whole story. So as we come through, it looks like if I'm looking at the boats, it looks like Temple is actually starting to inch up just a little bit.
Yeah, Temple's starting to make a nice move here. Drexel, do they have anything left to make this final push? It looks like Temple's overtaken them.
Yep.
Yeah, Temple with a really strong final 500. Here it comes to the end, and it's Temple. You see that 6 seed, he's looking over. He knows he's at their bow ball.
There goes the stroke. He takes a look over. The coxswain's up already. Oh my
man,
goodness.
The
there
3V
you go.
from Temple. And Drexel hangs their heads in defeat.
Oh man, what a great race.
St. Joe's crosses in third. That Temple coxswain has me cracking up.
That was a bold move. He was up before they were across the line.
Little showboating going on there.
Yeah.
As we finish up there in the men's 3V with MIT.